All right, I think we're live, huh?
We're live! Oh, like
Yeah.
It's like 10 seconds.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay here, I think.
I'm sorry.
But
hopefully no one will watch the very beginning.
okay, so hello everybody. This is the attempt for this live stream version of New Music Friday.
Sorry.
We're still learning.
I just wanted to watch any comments that come in. Okay,
All right.
I'm so
All
sorry.
right, reset. Sorry.
Go.
We're still learning. All right, I don't think anyone
No
is
one's here
really
yet.
watching yet anyways. So, but it'll show up in our redo of it, but okay. So anyways, this is New Music Friday today. Today is February 18th, 2022. And this is where I give you guys the big prog news and headlines for the week and updates for the channel. I decided to have Jana come on. I guess I should let you introduce yourself.
My name's Jenna. I'm his wife.
Yeah.
And I have today off from work, so I am invading New Music Friday, and I don't know that I'm bringing much to it. So
No.
I'm so sorry.
I think people will be excited because a lot of people are into this. They love the Jana React series that we do, where we do reactions to music. So, but I thought it would be fun because she had the day off, and I'm still learning this live stream kind of deal. So I was hoping Jana could help field any comments or anything that may come up while people are watching. So we'll see. So anyways, on to the news items for today. I think I should get into it, right?
Yeah, get into it. New Music Friday for, what's the day today?
February 18th.
February 18th, 2022.
All right. So, okay, a couple of cool things. Item number one is the new release. There's a couple of new cool albums that were released today. So one of the albums that was released is Arjen Lucassen's Star One album called Revel in Time. That was released today. So that's kind of a fun project. I've listened to it briefly because it just came out, and it's a really fun thing. I really like the album. It's kind of, Arjen Lucassen is a multi-instrumentalist. He's in charge of the Arjen project, which is like tons of different artists and stories. But Star One is more like the heavier version of that, where Arjen is more of the prog rock kind of stuff. I feel like this is more of the metal side of his sound, is the Star One project. And what's kind of cool about the albums is they always basically each song is describing a different movie, basically. So that's kind of the concept. And the first Star One album was covering space movies set in space, like Star Wars, Star Trek, things like that. The second Star One album was about like a post-apocalyptic type stories, things like Blade Runner and things that take place like towards the end of the world kind of thing.
That's kind of cool.
But this new one is called Revel in Time because it's all about like time travel stories and time travel movies. So it's a really fascinating release. Kind of a funny thing is I've pre-ordered it. But I haven't gotten my pre-order yet, and it probably won't be coming for a while because I pre-ordered it at the same time as ordering the first two albums that are coming out on vinyl as well. And they each have their own release dates, so they're kind of packaging them together when the last of those is released. So it probably won't come for a couple months, but should be a fun package to get. But in the meantime, I've been listening, and I plan to do a review of it. There's tons of different guests on this. It's kind of like there are... Even though it's more in that heavier vein, like I've been saying, compared to Arjen, there's still like some touches of Arjen stuff, especially in this one. Some variation in the music, some like proggy stuff in there. There's tons of different guests as usual. He has a whole long list. Brittany Slayes, Floor Jansen, who's from Nightwish, is on there.
I love her. She's amazing.
Steve Vai plays guitars on it. Michael Romeo is on there. Roy Khan, Tony Martin, just tons of different guests. That Ron Bumblefoot Thal, Jeff Scott Soto is on there. Russell Allen. So it's just people that he's worked with a lot before, and then some new faces. So should be a fun release for everybody. I think that should be Cool. The second news item is another big album released today. At least, this is a more obscure artist, but this is Jonas Lindberg and The Other Side and the album Miles from Nowhere. I've been seeing a lot of positive reviews, and I'm really kind of interested in it. So that's kind of why I'm somewhat interested in this release, and we'll probably review it on the channel at some point. It's kind of old school prog, kind of similar to like stuff that Transatlantic and Spock's Beard and those bands do, harkening back to the classics, to Yes and Genesis, and there's a Pink Floyd kind of vibe to it. They've released several singles, and they've all been really great in my opinion. I really like the music on board here, so I've been really interested in this release, and I know it's not one of the bigger names in prog, I don't think, but kind of a rising star perhaps, and he has Roina Stolt from the Flower Kings guesting on the album at some point, towards the big epic at the end. There's just, he's a Swedish artist who just has a lot of love for the same types of prog bands that I like, so definitely kind of a kindred spirit in the prog world and liking, the same music, and therefore that is what inspires his sound and what makes it right in the wheelhouse of the prog music that I like. So
I feel like I don't know this person at all.
Yeah, it's because I didn't really know this artist till like a little while back, because it's a new artist on the Inside Out music label that has, all of the big artists in prog that I like, basically.
Right.
And so I was interested, and I've been listening to clips and liking it. So
okay.
Just kind of
bringing it to the people.
A new artist. I'm always searching for new artists, and that's part of the goal of this channel a little bit, is to try to I'm always finding new music, finding new cool things, and trying to bring it to people's attention. Like there's such cool music being made, in the now, because a lot of people think, oh, well, the best music has already been made. The classic 70s stuff is the best prog stuff, but I kind of want to bring attention to some of the newer artists that are bringing it into the new age. So new prog is good prog to me. So definitely we'll be talking about it in the future. Next, item number 3, I wanted to talk about...
Number 3.
Item number 3. I wanted to talk about like some new prog singles that have been coming out. This week there was a new video for the track Revolution from the upcoming Flower Kings album, right, by Royal Decree. Really excited about this album. This is going to be heavily featured, and I'm going to do a lot of Flower Kings content because they're one of my favorite groups. I'm going to do a big album rankings of their catalog and try to slot this new album by Royal Decree in there. Really great. I've been able to listen to it a little bit, and it's been a really fun album. I think it's going to be a great one for everyone who's a big fan of the band and big fan of like symphonic prog in general. Just a really classic album, this big kind of sprawling double album. This track in particular is a great representation of it. It's a great track that kind of harkens back to the classic Flower King sound, kind of like Stardust We Are era. But it just sounds really great. Yeah, we reacted to Stardust We Are, didn't we?
Every now and then you say something and I'm like, I know that.
Oh yeah, that thing. So yeah, a great track that just, there's this kind of extended instrumental opening that's really beautiful and has kind of this almost classical kind of feel in that proggy style, and then some great vocals and great guitar playing, of course, by Roina Stolt. Great, he's just a magician at the guitar and what he's able to do with that. So
is this the one you listened to this morning?
Yeah, I was playing it this morning. I usually in the mornings before I do this show, I kind of listen through a lot of these tracks that I plan on talking about, and hope try to get a listen through some of the albums. So yeah, this was one that stood out to me. I really love this track, and really excited to talk about the whole album, hopefully at some point in the near future in an album review. So definitely one of my biggest, most anticipated releases for this year. So next, another new single I saw come out was...
Is this item number 4?
Item number 4.
Okay. Item number 4!
Sorry. My format is a little weird.
You're
maybe.
doing just fine.
Okay, so number 4, a new video came out from Michael Romeo, who's the guitarist of Symphony X. So he's this is a really cool track called Metamorphosis from his upcoming solo album. I believe the album's called War of the Worlds Part 2. He did a Part 1 of War of the Worlds a couple years ago, I believe. So this is kind of the second part of that series, kind of a concept type album, so it should be exciting. This one I thought was really cool. It has a little bit of a heavier feel, of course. It's kind of that progressive metal, but there's some catchier choruses and some great singing, and of course some great instrumental stuff going on with the guitars and so forth. So I like Symphony X a lot. I used to really be a huge fan of them back in their kind of heyday, with like the Odyssey and those types of albums, Divine Wings of Tragedy. I remember back when I was first discovering prog that they were kind of one of the premier prog metal acts that I was getting into. So always excited to hear about new material from anybody in that camp. You know, Russell Allen, the singer of the band, is guesting on the Star One album. Now we have Michael Romeo here doing his solo stuff, and he's also on the Star One album. So they're obviously active and doing stuff, and they're touring soon with Haken in, you know, upcoming this year. So that's one I've been kind of like
hoping for,
thinking about going to, but kind of nervous, you know, as I discuss about my anxiety about going to live shows and stuff. But that would be a cool double headline event.
They're coming here?
Yeah, they're coming. They have 2 dates like kind of near us. They have one.
Is it in May?
I think it's actually, I can't remember if it's the end of May or like June. I want to say it's in June perhaps. But there's one in like Anaheim, and then there's one in LA proper, I think. So
let's go to Anaheim.
So just something to consider.
Just to all like musicians out there, I hate driving into LA. So
Yeah.
If you could go in any of the outlying cities, Pomona, Whittier, Anaheim, I know it's totally first world problems, but
Yeah.
downtown LA is the worst.
Yeah, it's tough.
I mean, not the worst, but you know.
Yeah, a lot of concerts happen there, and I'm always nervous to drive deep into downtown LA just because, you know, the awful like traffic and the, you know, all that kind of stuff.
So all the theaters down there are so beautiful.
Yeah, there are a lot
like
of cool
these
theaters.
old historical theaters, and like they're so amazing. So
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. That's cool.
But yeah,
I like that.
Haken is one of my all-time favorites. So
We saw them on
to
the
see
cruise.
them live. Yeah, we saw them when we went to Progressive Nation at Sea Cruise. They were on that. So I've seen them doing their stuff on there, but that was quite a while back, and it'd be cool to see them like recently. And I've been really getting into.
He says you should go.
Yeah, so maybe I should.
Lizardo.
There's
Boss.
several concerts.
And hello, Kent. Thank you for chiming in.
Yeah. And so another one, Riverside kind of announced some dates. I felt like they had announced dates already, but maybe they announced some extra dates. I saw that pop up. So that's another one I'm thinking of going to, is a Riverside concert coming up like in April, I think. So
have we been to Riverside? Have we seen Riverside before?
I believe they were also on that cruise. I don't know if you were attending that particular concert, but I want to say that they were on the cruise. I could be wrong. I also saw them for sure. No, they were definitely on the cruise. I remember it now.
Okay.
I think they were having some technical issues, if I remember right. But it was great what they were able to do. But it was unfortunate that they had technical problems. But I also saw them. They came in LA. I saw them with my dad around here several years back. So that would be a fun one. They're actually playing in Pomona, which might be a little more feasible.
Oh, that's
for
way
us.
better.
So we might explore that one. I haven't been to that venue before, but there's a lot of prog bands coming there that I've been interested in. There's like, I think Pain of Salvation is showing up there pretty soon. There was the Deer Hunter, I think, which is a big band for me, that they're playing.
They were
there.
on the cruise, and I remember I had to leave their concert because it was too loud for my ears.
Yeah.
I couldn't stay.
Yeah, if you go...
I know now I have to, like, bring earplugs.
We'll have to, like... Yeah, bring earplugs if we go for you.
I will.
Yeah. So...
I just need it a little muffled, a little softer, but I don't want to ruin the experience for everyone else. So.
Yeah. And then, I guess jumping ahead to the last item on my list.
Oh, item number 5!
Item number 5. I thought this was kind of cool. I saw a list pop up. Record Store Day is coming April 23rd. I've been, getting more involved in collecting albums and records, and so I've been interested in Record Store Day. I haven't ever attended one, but I'm always interested and hear about them, and they have a lot of exclusive releases and stuff, and sometimes they have some proggy kind of things going on. So I saw a list of kind of some of the more proggy Record Store Day releases that are coming out that I thought would be fun to share. one of the big ones here, a vinyl reissue of Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Trilogy album from 1972. One of my favorite prog albums. I really love Trilogy. So that could be a cool reissue to check out. I think I have a version on vinyl, but I don't know. Maybe this will sound like a little bit better,
maybe
or be a newer version.
Vinyl.
Maybe, I don't know.
He collects colored vinyl too.
Yeah, I do like that. I think it's kind of a fun element.
Are any of these colored back here?
I'm sure. I know the Moron Police one is.
That's my prettiest album that I determined was the prettiest album.
And the Russ Jennings is on a purple variant.
Ooh, that's cool.
So, but yeah, so that's cool. Steve Hackett's 1998 live album, the Tokyo Tapes, is coming, a triple vinyl edition. So that will be a cool release. Tangerine Dream has a couple, looks like Alpha Centauri, and also Live at Reims Cinema Opera are coming out as well.
Are these all bands or names of albums?
Tangerine Dream is the band, and then those are their albums, Alpha Centauri and the Live at Reims. So those are some releases coming out. I'm not too familiar with Tangerine Dream, maybe another band I should check out. So there's those. I see on the list Asia XXX, Bebop Deluxe, a live album from them. Chicago is kind of cool.
Chicago.
Opeth release, My Arms Your Hearse is going to be there. Not familiar with Sandy Denny, but that's on this list. Scott Walker.
Steve Hackett,
like I mentioned, yeah. Tesseract.
Tesseract.
They're kind of a newer, more modern prog metal style act. So
I like it because
because of the Marvel relation, yeah. So
that's a cool band name.
So yeah, just some interesting releases. I don't know if anyone's into the record store day thing, but there could be a couple things worth picking up. Peter Gabriel also on the list, Live Blood release. So some cool stuff, some proggy things coming out. So those are my top 5 items. I feel like you might have an extra
I
item.
have a bonus news item because I thought, well, if I'm going to be here, I need to contribute more than just my sparkling personality, which is giving absolutely nothing to this. I'm probably just a distraction.
No, it's fine.
But it's Paul McCartney news. And I thought about, doing it in a news lady, former Beatles and British rocker Paul McCartney has announced his Got Back tour.
Yeah.
He announced plans for a tour of North America in the springtime, and it's the first time that he's touring all the way since 2019. Not very far away, but just since
pre-pandemic.
Since pre-pandemic. 14 dates kicking off in Washington on April 28th. Starting in Washington, he's doing Seattle, Boston, Baltimore, East Rutherford in New Jersey. Ooh. So a bunch of different places, including LA. He's going to play at the SoFi Stadium, which is where they just had the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then, but we probably won't go just because it's first of all,
it's on a date we can't really do.
In LA, it's May 13th, and we already have tickets to see Nightwish that night, so we're going to be doing that. But it's Paul McCartney, and he's like the greatest musician ever, and so he can charge whatever he wants for his tickets. So it's a little out of our budget for for tickets. So but that's going on now for American Express holders. You can purchase your tickets ahead of time in the pre-sale, but otherwise they go general next Friday on the 25th. Is that next Friday? That's what this article says. What day is it?
Yeah, that's next Friday because today's the 18th, so 25th.
So pre-sale tickets go on the 22nd, and the 22nd, which is our other concert night. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But and it's called the Got Back North American Tour 2022.
Yeah.
He says, I said at the end of the last tour that I'd see you next time. I said I was going to get back to you. Well, I got back.
Cool. Yeah, kind of almost capitalizing off the Get Back documentary that's been such
a
big deal.
Huh? We watched that.
Yeah.
Well, I slept through some of it, but you watched all of it.
Yeah, I watched all of it. It was really cool. It's like a cool look at the creative process of them creating this album and these songs, and really getting a full view of it, like not just snippets, but really like sitting with it for a long time. It's a lengthy documentary, and you really get the full scope of it. So, kind of cool. So
cool.
I thought
that's my news item. Yeah,
Paul McCartney kind of works on this show, right? We've done like classic albums with the Beatles and stuff. So. Yep. Yeah. Really
Sorry,
cool.
It's not necessarily prog, but
it's fine. Yeah, we do all kinds of music here, I think. Yeah. So just anything interesting and cool.
Yeah.
So, those are the main items. I do want to mention in the description, I'm going to add a description to this video and put in kind of some of the cool new songs and videos that have been coming out this week, and link to some of the YouTube videos of some of the songs I talked about, like that Flower Kings song and the Michael Romeo one. So just some cool things if you want to check it out in the description. I thought it'd be interesting to mention, we are going to a concert this upcoming week, right?
Yeah.
We're going to Seattle to see Neil Morse band. Yeah. So that should be a fun experience.
I've never been to Seattle, so I'm real excited.
Yeah, we're making like a little trip out of it. So should be a fun time. It was kind of funny because my parents got me this as a birthday gift like last year, right?
It was in summer. It's in summer.
Yeah, last summer. So the date was pushed back. The concert was originally going to be in the fall. And then, of course, because of COVID and other things, the band decided to push it to now. So, but it's going to be fun to go there and to experience the Neil Morse band, because it's been a while since they've played. And the tour so far seems to be going well. Everyone's given really positive reviews and stuff. So
you should check in on these comments.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken. That's nice. I feel like I'm totally a distraction.
No, you're great. You're part of the best part of the channel, I think.
Rockstar. I don't know. Sandy Denny. That one is not one I know.
Yeah, that's cool. So. Sandy Denny is maybe an artist I need to check out more, so that's cool. Thanks for the info on him.
Hey, Kevin. That's hilarious. You're there. Cool.
So yeah,
thank you guys for commenting and like interacting with us.
Yeah, it's kind of an experiment what we're doing, so it may be a little awkward compared to other streams.
Yeah, we can't edit things out and stuff, so I've been trying like to make sure I don't like burp after I take a drink or something. So
yeah, it's a different kind of experience.
Yeah, and I think we started off real awkward because I didn't know we were live quite yet, like where it starts recording, so I was like blowing my nose. So I'm so sorry. We're learning. Yeah, I'll be better prepared next time. Okay. If I'm invited back.
We'll see. I'm just kidding. No, but I kind of news for the channel before we kind of close this out. I like doing these live streams. We're still working out the kinks and kind of figuring out the style here, but I think it works and I think it's fun. And hopefully more people can pop in as it keeps going and people keep, learning about it and knowing that we're doing live streams and stuff. So it's just kind of a cool additional format to the show and gives me a chance to be a bit more interactive. And I'll get better and more comfortable as I go. But we're working on it.
You probably do better when I'm not here. Because I feel like
it's just a different kind of experience.
Yeah, you do really well when you're like on your own, the only person in the room.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more like, not as anxious when that's the case, but but I think the interactive element probably makes this more entertaining than just me sitting by myself. So I think there's a trade-off, right?
All right, we should probably close this out.
Yeah. But just so before we officially close, I just you can expect probably another live stream next week if I'm available. So
I'll be at work.
Yeah.
You can have your name.
I have another show I'm planning to film that day, and I don't know quite the timing yet, so it'll probably depend on the timing there. So we'll see. So but I wanted to talk about that I did a Jethro Tull album rankings show this week that came out yesterday. That's been getting some pretty good positive feedback. I put a lot of work. Those album rankings are probably the shows that I spend the most time on and work on the most. So I'm really grateful when I get good positive feedback for the time I put into it. So it was fun ranking all the albums. I know it was probably an unconventional ranking in some ways because a lot of the albums I was hearing for the first time, I hadn't heard the whole catalog before this project. I'd heard the certain albums that I really knew well from like the early 70s period, but beyond that I was learning these for the first time. So probably as I listen to them more, I'll get more comfortable with the ranking and probably shift things around and so forth. But I thought it was a cool experiment for kind of a first time listener to a lot of these different albums. So just wanted to bring that to mind because I'd love it if people check that one. I'm sure a lot of people, anyone watching this, probably a lot of them have already seen it or are planning to. So I know it's kind of a lengthy one, but I felt like that was...
They have a lot of albums. It has to be lengthy.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of what I consider the third part of my like Jethro Tull trilogy of videos the last few weeks. Because we did a reaction to Thick as a Brick, part 1. And then I did a review of their newest album, The Zealot Gene. So that was kind of part 2, and part 3 was the album ranking. So now I can kind of close the book for now on the Jethro Tull content. But it was a lot of fun to go through. And I'm like I kind of talked about the news items. I'm planning to do some reviews this week for the Star One album from Arjen, and then for that Jonas Lindberg album that I think is pretty cool. And then not too far from then, I'm going to do kind of a new, what do I call them? New music shuffle, where I talk about several different albums that have come out recently that I've been enjoying, but don't have time to do a full-on show just focused on that. So it'll be several releases in one show. I plan to do that like monthly, where it's kind of a catch-up of all the new albums that I've enjoyed for that month and that have been fun, that I can just kind of quickly talk about and recommend and, make for a fun video on those. So that should be coming probably in a couple weeks once I accumulate all the albums that I've been talking about. And then I plan to cover the new Di Virgilio Morse Jennings album Troika.
Oh my gosh, because I've listened to some of that and it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, so that's a cool one that should have some focus upcoming in a kind of cool way. So that should be cool. Not really very proggy, but done by a bunch of prog musicians and kind of has more of a folky kind of acoustic vibe, but it's really, really cool. So that will be a fun one to talk about. So then, of course, just our usual Generiacs coming up and stuff. And, hopefully that'll be fun.
Yeah. Checking into the comments. Thank you guys for your comments. We appreciate the support. And then you have a question here at the very end from Stink Pooter. I like your name, dude. All right. So are there any genres of music you will explore which you haven't before?
Ooh, that's interesting. So explore like on the channel or just personally listening? Well, I try to there's certain genres that I struggle with a little bit, but I do try to reach outside of my usual.
He's not such
every
a big
so
fan
often.
of country.
Yeah.
He likes some country music if it's unique or got something,
Yeah.
But that's okay.
But I like some of bluegrass kind of thing. I like the Punch Brothers is a band I really love, which is kind of a bluegrass type band. I like a lot of jazz kind of stuff. Jazz, I don't spend as much time on it, but when I do hear it, I do like a lot of jazz stuff. I like just kind of regular indie alternative rock kind of stuff as well. I try to get into that. So one album that I'm going to be talking about, oh man, I forget the name of the band. I keep forgetting it, like Black Country Old Road or something like that, or New Road. Kind of an indie band, but with a little bit of proggy kind of flavor to it. So that's a little bit outside of my usual listening. But, those are... I focus a lot on the prog world. That's kind of where most of my listening goes. And kind of what I theme the channel around a bit. But we do these classic album shows that I'm hoping will kind of get us into other genres a little bit, like into the classic rock and maybe even some classic pop albums. I'm thinking of us covering something like Joni Mitchell coming up shortly. So I thought that would be cool.
I've never really listened to her stuff.
And I'd love more. I've been trying to think of good additional classic albums to cover, maybe some good like 70s albums that I may be missing that would be fun for like a classic albums that don't really work as a prog piece but would be fun for us to talk about. So but I'm trying to make it so I know there's a lot of like obscure kind of cool stuff that not many people know about, but I'm trying to like with that series introduce Jana to like some of the big like headline albums that are like wildly
I just
famous.
Missed them in my growing up.
So that's kind of the purpose behind that. But maybe I'll reach out for more suggestions of different genres and different things to check out. So,
well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you
for joining us. To our commenters today, Kent, Stinkbooter, and Wizardo, Ryan, Kevin.
Yeah.
What's up, Kevin?
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah. So,
all right, close us out.
Yeah, so we'll be back hopefully next week, or at least I will. I hope so. And doing a live stream and talking. So please give us your feedback, and the video will be posted after this, so you can comment there if you wish and give us some feedback on if you like this style and if you don't mind us to continue doing live streams for this. So thank you guys so much, and we'll hopefully catch you guys in a future video. So thank you guys, and I guess we'll end there. So bye.
Enjoy the music.
All right.